Hey everybody, this is Retro Challenge Gamer, and we are back to another video of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe plus Booster Pass ranking tier list. And this is what I have so far. Some of them were even surprises to me. And we are going to move on to the next cup. Now, before Mrs. Retro Challenge Gamer fell asleep, she told me to do the Crossing Cup. She said the leaf with the little bite taken out of it. Yeah, we're going to let her get her beauty sleep right now. But we're going to continue on and talk about Baby Park. Yeah, we're going to talk about Baby Park. Which I did not even do well on for some reason. Okay, we'll find out what exactly happened here. What was that, GameCube? So it's the 3 before the 4. So we got not too many GameCube ones left. It's not really represented very well throughout all 96 tracks, is it? So right away, you can see Baby Park has 7 laps, and it's not just a loop, but it's a short loop. There ain't much going on here, y'all. And whether you like this track or not depends entirely on what your playstyle is and if you like chaos or not. This is the type of track which has too much randomness in it. I mean, I'm all for people getting item boxes and getting items and shooting shells and bullet bills and lightning bolts and stars and blue shells and things like that. That's fine on a normal track. But in an enclosed track like this, where there's hardly any space to do any sort of maneuvering or jockeying for position other than the small little flower patches which you can kind of cut across, that's like the only shortcuts you can really technically do. There's nothing. There's nothing you can do, no shortcuts. The time trial is just abysmal. There's so little you can do to do better or improve. I mean, the background's amazing. I'd actually want to explore that. Give me a track that takes me out there. Takes me out to the actual park. That would be way more interesting than this crap we got, you know? No, that's terrible. So I think y'all know where I'm gonna go with this. So I gotta find it first. Where is it? If you find, oh, there it is. So I would put it right there because I find it funner than Rainbow Road or Mario Kart Circuit 3. But I would play Sky Garden over Baby Park. I would never select this at all. I don't personally have much fun in it at all. It's not a worthy addition to the lineup. I think a track that would be out in the actual park would have been far more interesting. Like have the track take you on a part of the roller coaster portion, and you like ride on the roller coaster, and you have to avoid the roller coaster as it's, you know, and then you hop off and you go do other parts of the park. That would be a way more interesting track design idea for me. But we got what we got, and it's just a loop. 7 laps of it. So moving on to Cheese Land, which, I barely, just a little over a second, I passed RSL. So we'll see how awesome I did on Cheese Land, y'all. I did not catch what type of game that Cheese Land came from, so I'll have to alter the number for it afterwards. Now, track layout-wise, it's a really good layout. I like the twisting turns and the way it loops in on itself multiple times. That's neat. I like the layout of this. The look of it's really good too. I mean, come on, it's basically another desert level, but it's a desert made of cheese. I guess. I mean, I like this half-pipe anti-gravity thing, or did I say half-pipe? No, half-turn, 180 turn. And I like this section right here. This seems as kind of neat, but I think more often than not, you see these little pockets in the ground, these little cheese pockets. If you accidentally trick off them, or even if you purposely trick off them, you can trick off every single pocket in the ground here. Sometimes that'll help you, but if you don't catch it at the right angle, that trick will give you just enough boost of speed to shoot you right off the track into the harder cheese, I guess, on the side, the dirt, if you will, and slow you down entirely while 5 to 6 people just pass by you. So this track, there's a lot going for it, but then there's not a lot going for it at the same time. I wish I could explain myself better here, but I just feel like there was like many missed opportunities here. I do like the fact that it has multiple shortcuts, and so there's multiple ways that you can catch up. Like you could skip that earlier turn there, you can skip this turn here through the block of cheese, the little archway there. You can build up multiple turbo boosts here. I mean, there's a lot to love in this particular track. So, and I heard this was, I think it's GBA. In fact, this is, I think it is GBA, but I'll check that. But I know it's from a game system that couldn't do too much with its track. So the fact that they made something like this with some anti-gravity sections and a big hill and everything, which I'm pretty sure was not part of the original track, that's impressive for a port. That is insanely impressive for a port. So let's take a quick look-see on where it came from. Where are you, Cheeseland? GBA! Okay. Okay, so it is GBA. Where is GBA? 6? So we got 5 left on that. So back up to Cheeseland. Oh, where do I place it? That is... To me, it's not one of the very good tracks. Like, I would not want to play this constantly, or like, yeah, we'll play this. This is something I would like to play every time I do Mario Kart. No, not really. It really isn't. Oof. I do want to say it's funner than Sherbet Land and Yoshi's Valley, because it's got a lot of good stuff going for it in terms of everything I explained while we were watching the track. And it is a little bit more interesting than Royal Raceway, but is it fun? This comes down now to my personal preference. Is it fun? Funner than Royal Raceway? Because I know Warriors Goldmine is funner than that, so I think I'm just going to put it there. Even though Royal Raceway is a little bit more plain, I just feel like that's a stronger track to me, just all around. I know this might be a hot take. I don't know. I'm debating. I don't know. Either way, I have to move on. Wild Woods. This is another DLC original on the main base game. And I did beat the time. Alright, let's see how awesome I played. So we're going to do another original, so that's 19. There we go. Oh, and yeah, this is so awesome. You actually start anti-grav. You start facing up a tree. So you're going up a giant tree, and then see the branches, and now you're going across, down on some other branches, into an awesome little Shy Guy village. This almost reminds me of the village in Xenoblade Chronicles, the Nopon village, which is in that big tree and everything. And it's like this big vertical village. It reminds me almost like that. That's really awesome. That sort of reference. I don't think it is actually referencing that, but it's still a neat visual. And then you come down like a little aquifer drainage pipe or whatever, and then you're back up on the main tree going straight back up. There's just so much to do here, and most of it's anti-grav. I don't know if either path is faster than the other. I think they're both kind of equal. I think this one could give you more tricks. So I guess in the long run you can have a couple little extra speed boosts there. And I just love that type of jump right there. That is neat. I love the visual there. And then you can like zip down here. This is always fun when you're trying to jockey for position with a bunch of other racers, trying to get ahead of them all the way down to the lily pad platforms. That's neat. I love that. And then the final shortcut at the end if you want to use it. Yeah, this is just a blast from start to finish. This Shy Guy one. I never really truly appreciated Wild Woods until I started time trialing and I started playing 200cc course and really started to learn the game. I thought this was an okay track. I thought this was like, it's nice. I mean, nothing special about it, but the more I played it, the more I began to appreciate it over a lot of the other tracks in Mario Kart 8. So this one not only grew on me, it grew on me and showed me how awesome it really was. Just based on the layout and the gimmicks and the looks and everything. It's just such a solid track from beginning to finish. So I think you know where I'm probably going to place this one. Where are you, Wildwoods? I need to find you. Here you are. Oh, man. I dare say it's up here. And I probably... Yeah. It did not dethrone Hyrule Circuit. But I will say it is much funner than the rest, Ninja Hideaway, which is pretty strong track in and of itself. That's a strong track. Now I have to zoom out again. Oh, this is getting bad, y'all. So I'm gonna have to... Give me a second. Okay, that's better, right? I think that's better. Yeah. Okay, so now I can see everything. Now we have multiple rows for each of them before I have to zoom out yet again, probably in another video or two. But yeah, that's where we're at currently. And we're gonna move on to the last race. The Animal Crossing, another original, and I think this probably took everybody by surprise. There's an Animal Crossing track, and not only that, but it's a neat one that gives you, oh, what is it? 4 different seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter, and each one has its own little challenges and obstacles, and even little difference and variations to the track. Like some, I think spring or either summer has like little ramps and everything in the forest area, the forested area at the beginning, that some of the other seasoned portions don't have. So that's kind of neat. I was not able to beat Isabelle. She beat me like by a second or so. But we're going to still watch, and I forgot which version of the track I actually time trialed on. So we'll figure that out right now. So here's another base game one. I think we got summer. So I think we time trialed on summer. Because since some time trials, as I said, spring or whatever has those little launch pads. Like right here in the forest area, they would have little pads you can trick off of. I don't think they would have my recorded time trial ghost go on a season that we didn't time trial on. But then again, I don't know. Someone please confirm that for me. So in terms of a track, this is really neat in concept, where every time you play it, it could technically be a different season with slight variations, and the look of the whole area could change entirely too. Like here you see the fruits on the trees, and in fall there's like little batches of leaves, little leaf piles, and then in winter there's like snowmen, and then you dive right into the small little Animal Crossing village here, and then off to the beach. So it's always varied. It never lets up on any one section. So it just when you feel like you're going to get bored of one area, you're immediately off into the next. And then I think here's the mayor's house? I don't even know. I don't play Animal Crossing very much. My wife is more into that than I am. Or was. So in terms of layout, it's simple. I guess it doesn't really need to be anything complicated. It's one of those fun, short, small tracks. It doesn't really do too much. But in the end, it doesn't really have to. It's just fun playing through one of your favorite properties, if you guys happen to love Animal Crossing, and just seeing all the characters and the locations and things like that. Be like, oh, this is kind of cool. We're racing through the town on the island, you know? So it's neat. It's neat to do that. Now, as for, is it like fun to play through? I think it is. I think the layout makes it fun. And let me explain that once I get back to the tier list here. Okay, here we are, back to the tier list. Where are you, Animal Crossing? Wow, I really can't find it. Okay, so here's where the decision lies. I don't think it's the very best of the best. I don't think it's average either. So it has to go somewhere in the very good I will always play it category. So now we got to figure out where along this path is it fun. I would like to say it kind of goes smack dab here between Ice Outpost and either Dragon Driftway or Blue Lake, and I can't really decide where it's funner. I think I want to put it above Ice Outpost for the mere fact that it has that unique season mechanic that every time you play, it's a slightly different and new experience, and it's just got a fun layout where it's simple enough to understand and get after the first lap, but it's always interesting every time. And you never get bored of each section, and you're off to the next. And it just continually evolves as you get to the end of the track, and you have to repeat it all over again. So, yeah, it's a fun track, which I think did a concept much better than what other track I'm thinking. I can't think of the other track, but I don't think we've played it yet. But anyway, that's where I think I'm going to place it, and we're going to move on to the DLC stuff. So my son is not here with us, but he told me to do the Moon Cup next. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to rank everything here, starting with a tour tag, Berlin Byways. And I did my best, y'all. I did my best to beat Donkey Kong, but he was the better rider here. So we're going to change the number here. First and foremost, y'all, the music in this rocks. It is just banging. I love this track. Again, it's another city track. You're just driving along streets with some traffic. But it is one of the harder tracks. It is definitely difficult to get through this course compared to the others, especially if you're on time trial. Oh, there's so many things that could go wrong here. There's the Bahnhof. You can go inside and get some blocks, or question blocks if you want. Oh wait, here's the music. Yeah, now the main melody is kicked in. Right there. But yeah, I don't see any other reason why you would go inside that subway to get the item blocks during an actual race. I think that's going to slow you down. I guess if you're only bagging, that would be worthwhile to take that small little shortcut. But again, we're going back through the route that we had earlier, but now we're turning left this time instead of going around the roundabout. Up there is the... Oh, what is that temple called? On the right side. We just passed it. Yeah. I forgot what it's called. Now we're back to the roundabout. Now we're, instead of going left up the Bahnhof, we're now going down into, not an underpass. I do like the fact that it kind of weaves in and out of the central area here. The main stretch of the road, which I forgot what it was called. Then it goes to the park. There's a name for this park here. Oh man, I wish I knew my geography better in Berlin, but I recognize the locations. I know that much. I do recognize the locations because I was here recently. I was on a trip, and there's the Berlin Wall. I do like the fact that the thwomps are there to smack down on you if you time it bad to get past them. But for those behind you, they can trick off those thwomps, and they can use them as nice little jumps. So that's kind of neat too. Up back into the park, and then we bring it home. So I do like the fact that the Berlin Byways kind of continues to loop you back around to the central point where you started the whole race. So I like that. It seems like it's a well-designed track, which, although at first when you're playing through it for the first time, it's a little confusing figuring out where to go and stuff. But once you do, and you realize what the track is doing, it's amazing how it takes you on a circuitous route, crisscrossing back and forth around this main central area while letting you explore other areas in between on every single lap. That was well designed, and I gotta give it props for that. That is a fantastic way of designing a tour track, and that makes it a very strong track entirely compared to some of the weaker ones out there. So I would definitely put this in the very good category. Now, is it funner than some of the others? Well, it depends on your idea of fun. I want to put it right here, actually. Wait, no, because London Loop's down there, and I put that pretty high, or pretty low. Ooh, now I'm stuck, because there's nothing really exciting happening to it either, just like London. Oh, now that recontextualizes my rating here. Yeah, I think I'll put it a little lower, actually, now that I look at London there. Because it is pretty similar. It's just better designed than London, the way how it makes you travel around. I feel like I'm spending a lot of time on this particular track because it's so hard to place, because I feel it's stronger than the London one. It really is. It can't go below London. It just can't. To me, it's between Boo Lake and Warriors Stadium. I don't know where to put this thing. So I think I'm just going to pop it right in the middle between the two. So instead of deciding if it's either far left or far right, it's just going to go right in the middle between the two. And I think that's where I'm going to have to leave it for now. And we'll just see if it changes moving forward. Okay. Peach Gardens for the DS. I was not able to get a good time on this, unfortunately. Where's the DS? 4? Is it 4? Okay, this one is decent. I think there could have been a lot more done with this. I do like what happens on the third lap. I'll tell you that right now. But in terms of overall gimmicks and novelty, I guess it's neat that you're going through the gardens of Peach's castle. So that's, in terms of a location, that's pretty cool. You got little chain chomps and piranha plants and Monty moles. So you got a couple random but very predictable obstacles. So that's neat. But it's very wide open. There's a lot, not a lot of tight turns. It's very spacious. It seems like there's a sense of slowness to it. Like, it wants you to sit back and enjoy the garden and smell the flowers, if you will, you know? And this one area, that area that we just passed through, just feels very slow to me, even if we did have 10 coins at the time. It just seems like a normal track, really. The only thing that makes it stand out is the location. The location's neat. That's about it. Now here's where things get different, right here. And this surprised a lot of people, because I think this is only in the Booster Pass version of the track. Other variants or ports of it did not have this. Now you're going back through the track backwards. You're going in reverse. So this is amazing. So you do a small little loop-de-loop around, and now you're back on the track going the opposite direction. This was a fantastic change. I applaud this change, because now you get to go through the entire track, which has been more or less, I wouldn't say boring, but, you know, average. So you can kind of get an idea of where I'm going to put this track. But it makes it better. It just elevates this to a different level with this third lap. Yeah, I think that's where I lost a couple seconds on that particular turn. I could have done that turn better and had a trick or some boost ready. Oh well. I don't care enough to beat Peach's time on this track. So rating-wise, where does it fall? First I gotta find Peach's track. Okay, so obviously it's in the average. I would probably say... Oof. I have a funner time playing in Tokyo Blur. But I'd say it's funner in Peach Gardens compared to Calamari Desert. I'm gonna get flack for this, aren't I? I know I am. But I can't personally place it any higher than this. I find any of these other tracks in the average category much funner than Peach Gardens. Tokyo Blur, of all things. I know, crazy, I know. I feel like it's a more tightly compact and faster track than Peach Gardens is. Despite the third lap that takes you back around, which is really novel and neat, but it just is not fun to me. It feels slow as a track, and it's just overall boring. I'm sorry, it's just average. I don't mind playing it. It's fun when I do play it with a bunch of people, especially on 200cc. It's really fun. But if I had to choose, nah, there's so many other better tracks than this one. Merry Mountain. Oh, I beat this one. Nice. Okay, okay. And this is actually another original one from the Booster Pass. So now we're down to 3 originals left. So let's watch how well I did on Merry Mountain. So this wave, Wave 3 I believe, was released in Christmas, December of last year, 2022. And so obviously they had to have a Christmas-themed course. This course is just beautiful visually. You can see the little gondolas or something, the ski lifts going all the way up to the top of the mountain. That's kind of neat. And you go through like a little Christmas town with little Santa's train and everything, dropping presents, or in this case, coins. He drops coins in your path, so that's kind of neat. And then a weird half pipe. Like, what is up with that half pipe? And then you go down the hill. And this is where the... Oh, 1 hour left. I forgot I have the children's timer on. Which makes sense. We're talking about Christmas and, you know, giving presents and children and kids and toys and stuff. And the kids' timer is still on the Switch. Good timing. Good timing. Anyway, very strong start to the track. I love going up the hill, through the town, even going on the tracks where the train went. That's really neat. These big presents here, a little trick shot. Then you get this big wide open space and a half pipe which does nothing for you if you're behind and you need to catch up. It does nothing for you. And then you have a huge straightaway down the hill, which would normally be awesome if there was stuff on the hill to keep you occupied. But there's nothing. So like the first 2/3 of this track is amazing. Like, this is great. I love this. And then going up the hill, going across the bridge, the little turn here. This can be kind of a tough turn if you're going too fast. So this is good. I love this part of the track where it's a challenge, but then it dies. The whole aspect of the track dies right here with a nonsensical half pipe, and then nothing. I mean, yeah, sure, you got these little speed boosts, but that's it. There's no little mogul bumps that you can trick off of. There's nothing to occupy your attention going down that hill. So when it comes time to pass people up at the last second and get that crazy victory that no one was expecting, there's not many opportunities to do it. And the track layout itself is very simple. So I am torn, y'all. I am very, very torn on how to rank this particular track because I do love it. I do love it. But it's very simple, and the last third is just boring as heck compared to the first part. Like, it prepares you for something great, and then it lets you down at the end. And it just tears at me on how to place this. I think I'll put it right here. It's average. It's not something I would actively select if it came up in online play, but I wouldn't mind playing on it. I would still have a great time, and it's definitely one of the better average tracks, by far, both in theming and everything. I just don't think it's in the very good category, you know? So, definitely a high one. Definitely a high bar to set in the average category, and I think it meets that. So we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. So we're going to move on to the final track of the moon. Oh, Rainbow Road. Another Rainbow Road, y'all. Oh, no. Oh, dang. I actually beat this one. How the heck did I do that? Doesn't matter. Let's watch and find out. What was this? Let's go back. What was it? 3DS? Okay, 3DS. I got to change the time on this, so... or the numbers. Now this is one of those rare tracks, especially for a Rainbow Road, where it's one and done. It's a what they call a checkpoint track. It's not a lap track. You don't go through the laps 3 times in a row and you're done. You go through the entire race once, and there's checkpoints every so often. So first you go around here, which is a very cool start to the Rainbow Road, and it really tests your turning, which I almost fell off there, and your tricking. And so I really like this first part of the track. It's very good to get ahead. Then it's got a weird little multicolored polka dotted mushroom for some reason. And then you're on to the second part of the track. That was a good first part. I loved that. And if you're really good at the turning, you can really ace that very well. Now, there are some tricky areas where you can jump over the small gaps for small little shortcuts, if you will, to get ahead by a position or two. And then we're into an interesting section here. I don't think this is... yeah, this part is not as interesting as the first area. but I do like how it ends. I like how it ends here with the wavy thing, and if you happen to fall through, all is not lost. You're on the moon, and now you're tricking off of craters on the moon with spaceships and everything, and now you're on checkpoint 2. So yeah, this track always has something interesting going on, and I think that's to its strength and favor. And you got this little warp tube if you manage to hit all of them at once. I did not hit the gliding section. Oh, I'm almost... Oh, man. And then this big old crazy hairpin turn, because almost every Rainbow Road's got to have one. You can't have a Rainbow Road without one, right? And then one final jump and you're there. That is the Rainbow Road. I don't know how it was on 3DS or whatever game it actually came from initially, but I do know that the port of it is phenomenal. I think out of all the Rainbow Roads, this is the one I mind the least. So where would I put it? On 150cc, this can be a pretty brutal track. This track can be unforgiving. And then on 200cc, just don't even bother. Like, I don't have the skill to do this on 100cc. I would just be shooting off the side left and right because there's no railings, and I would be dead last every single time. Like, this track is just rough. So take that into account. Do I have fun on this track? Yes. But if I play competitively on this track, no. And I think that is where the final ranking and tier is going to come into play. And I think I'm going to put it into the very good category. It's not the very best, but I will say it probably beats Dragon Driftway. It's like a different, better version of Dragon Driftway, where Dragon Driftway was a lot of smooth, flowing turns. This one has a lot of turns, but it's also got a lot of crazy crap happening at the same time with boost pads and glider ramps and jumps, and it's just, there's so much stuff happening, and it's a checkpoint track, which is one of my favorite types of tracks anyway, you know, especially if I would hate to have gone through all that like 3 times, like a lap, and you do that 3 times. I don't know if the original game had that. I mean, what was this? Was 3DS, was it? Yeah, okay. So, wow. I think that's where I'm going to place it. And this is my ranking after so many Grand Prix, I've lost count, but I'm sure the total number of tracks that I've done will be in the lower left. And I hope you all have enjoyed this whole ranking so far. I know there's probably going to be a lot of disagreements, but opinions are a beautiful thing. Everybody's got one. And this is me without rose-tinted glasses of 2 decades worth of Mario Kart tracks. We got some more to go, everybody. So until next time, see y'all later, and stay retro.